Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to show you this really fun summer look, a lot of coral peachy tones, and a lot of Colourpop products, which you will see in the video, because if you do follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been buying Colourpop like crazy because I absolutely love this company and I love their products. This look is just something a little more peachy and bright before we get into all the fall trends with the vampy lips and the darker eyeshadow colors and the smoky eyes. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So I'm going to start with my foundation, as I usually do. Sometimes I do start with my eyes if I'm going to do something a little more heavy that might have fallout. I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Blur and Illuminate Primer. Put that all over the face. You can see that it gives a nice glow to the skin and also is a good base for your foundation to last throughout the day. Okay, next I'm going to go in with my Loreal Infallible foundation. I'm in the shade 104. I usually mix my MAC Studio Fix fluid in with it because I'm naturally an NW13, which is like the second to lightest shade that they make. But I've self-tanned and I'm going to use a lot of light concealer, so I'm just going to go ahead and go in with this foundation by itself. And I'm using my Sigma F80 brush. It's a flat top kabuki and I've been using it for a while and I love it. When you're applying foundation, you kind of want to dab it onto your face instead of rubbing it, because basically you're just picking up the product that you put down. So you kind of want to pat it at first and then you can blend it in. I'm going to take it down on my neck because I don't self-tan my neck. Okay, moving on, we're going to go in with concealer. Today I'm going to use this Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I have the lightest shade, it's 15 Fair, but I usually use my MAC Pro Longwear NC15. That's great, but I just want to do something kind of light today. Okay, now I'm just going to blend this out with my damp beauty blender. I am going to do an in-depth tutorial with contouring and highlighting, just to kind of explain why you're putting this and that where you are, but I'll have an in-depth tutorial on that. So I'm just going to blend this out and make sure everything's even. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit more concealer underneath my eyes because it's not as full coverage as the MAC Pro Longwear, and I have mommy dark circles, so I'm going to cover those up just a little bit more. And I'm going to set it with this Maybelline finishing veil. Looks like this. I've only been able to find it at Walmart. Works really well for me. I like it. I also take it on this disposable cosmetic sponge because I always crease. Doesn't matter if it's a creaseless concealer, I will always crease unless I do this. And this is what I call baking. You just take the powder underneath your eye, and you can use it on your beauty blender, but I just find that this works better for me, but everyone's different. And set that area, and you're gonna let it sit. I usually do my brows and then I'll wipe off the excess. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back and blend out this side just because it takes that quickly for me to crease. So just to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines already. With my concealer, I'm going to go ahead and blend that out again and then apply the powder. And I'll do the same for my eyelids because I do have slightly hooded lids, so the concealer will crease on me if I don't set that with powder. And I'm going to take an e.l.f. small tapered brush and just set my eyes. Okay, next I'm going to move on to my brows. As usual, I'm using the Wet n Wild Fergie brown gel liner. Excuse my self-tanner hands, I just tanned today. It's a brown gel liner, and I've been using it for probably like 2 years now. And using my Eco Tools angled brush, I'm just going to start at the bottom of my eyebrow just to kind of frame the shape. I'll just fill them in. I use whatever's left on the brush to kind of fill in the front of my eyebrows because I like mine to look more gradient. I don't like just such a bold brow, even though to you my eyebrows probably are bold, but that's just how I like to do it. And I will have another tutorial dedicated strictly to brows. You'll notice that I'm kind of doing both at the same time because I like to make sure everything's even. Okay, I think that looks about right. Now going back to the skin, I'm going to start with my contour and wipe away this excess translucent powder. And also while I'm doing that, I'm kind of use what's left on the brush to set these areas, like at small lines, and just to set my chin. You'll want to do this, especially if you're oily, you'll want to focus on these areas. And as I showed you in my Get Ready With Me, I'm going to use this MAC single eyeshadow in Omega. It's a nice brown, but it's also a cooler tone, so it gives you the nice shadowy effect that you want when you contour. I'm going to go with my Sigma F05. It's a small contour brush. It will help if you, because I really don't have defined cheekbones, so you can make the fishy face just to kind of carve out or see where you need to carve out your contour. And you'll want to use a light hand so that it's not too heavy. And I'll take it up on the side of my temples, but I'm going to use bronzer to contour my forehead just because I like a little more warmth and it has a little shimmer in it, so it kind of gives me a natural glow and I like the way that looks. But of course you could go up with the same contour color. The bronzer I'm going to use is this Wet n Wild Ticket to Brazil bronzer. I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on this because I've had it for a long time. And then I'm going to use the Sonia Kashuk 130 brush. It's really dense and round brush. It's really good for bronzing. I'm not doing anything too precise on my forehead. Just going to kind of add some warmth to the rest of my face. And I'll also take a little bit of that just to blend out the contour. Going back in with that MAC single shadow, I'm going to contour my nose. I'm using a small fluffy brush. Any small fluffy brush will work. Okay, I'm just kind of jumping all over the place. So next I'm going to go in with a blush. This is a Colourpop blush. It's in the shade Nonfiction, and it came in my strobing kit that I got. I love this shade. Good for either fall and summer. It's a pretty kind of red corally color. I'm going to take that on my Sonia Kashuk blush brush. It's number 24. And just apply that on the apples of the cheeks. I also like to take on the tip of my nose just to add a little more color. You don't have to do that, it's just optional. Okay. Next, I'm going to jump around like I said. I'm just going to do my eyes. I'm using all Colourpop shadows for this look. I'm going to use 4 shadows because I got an order in this week and I wanted to use some of the new colors that I got. I'm going to use the shade X. It's a really bright corally red color. And it's from the Rebound quad, so you can't buy it single, like by itself, but you can buy the quad. I'm going to take that on a Sigma E40, the same brush that you'll see me use in every video. It's nice and fluffy, good for blending. And I'm going to apply that into the crease. This is a really good color for summer. I just wanted to get in one last tutorial for you guys. It's a summer tutorial since it's September now and we're going into the fall months, and I love fall looks, so I'm just gonna blend that into the crease. Next I'm gonna go in with the shade Cornelius. It's also from a quad. It's from the Kathleen Lights quad. It's just a nice warm but also kind of neutral brown color, and I'm also going to take that on my E40 into the crease. Some depth because my eyelids are pretty much flat, so I try to use multiple colors to give some depth, and I just want to blend back and forth with windshield wiper motions just to make sure that everything is blended in and you don't have any harsh lines. And while I have this open, I'm going to go ahead and take a small pencil brush. It's also from Bundle Monster Cosmetics, and apply Cornelius underneath line. On to the lid. This is my most favorite color from the Rebound quad. It's called Too Soon. I'll have to swatch this so you can see it up close. It's a beautiful, like iridescent, yellowy pink color, and it's got corally shimmer in it, and it is so pretty. It might not pick it up on camera. I love this shade. So I'm just going to take that with my finger. I don't usually use a brush when I apply my lid color because my lids are so small. It's just easier to apply the color where I want it with my finger. Okay, and the last eyeshadow that I'm going to use is the color Swan. It's a beautiful white color, but it also has like gold undertones and little gold flecks in it. And I'm just going to take that on that same pencil brush that I used before and apply it to the inner corner. With my liner, I'm going to do a wing today, and I'm going to use this Loreal Telescopic waterproof liner. If you've asked me what kind of liner I use and what's my favorite, I'm going to tell you this because it's got a felt tip, and for some reason it's just easier for me to apply. I'm going to make sure that's nice and shaken up. Shaken up. And I'll start my wing. I'm going to try to get this on camera since my last video completely cut it out and you guys didn't get to see. This is waterproof. It's going to dry. If you get it onto your lashes, it'll make them hard, and then it's hard to actually comb through and put the mascara on. So I'm going to go with my mascaras. I'm using Loreal Telescopic and the Maybelline Flared Falsies mascara. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and apply some on my bottom lashes even though I haven't put on my liner yet. Okay, moving on to the other eye. Okay, now I'm going to go with my mascara and finish off this eye. Okay, sorry, my camera cut off, and in that time I realized I didn't turn my lights on, so there's my new background, my new lights. And if I'm like zoomed in differently or something like that, that's why, because my camera cut off. So moving on, I finished off my mascara, and I'm going to go in with this NYX eyeliner. It's a gel eyeliner, but it's in pencil form, so put that in my waterline. I like this liner because it's actually really black and it's drugstore. And I swatched it on my hand the day I got it, and literally I scrubbed it and it would not come off. So I'm hoping it works as well on the eye as it did on my hand. Now moving on back to my face, I'm going to go in with two Colourpop highlights. I'm going to use the shade Lunch Money and the shade Stole the Show. These are both permanent and they're not in a collection, so you could buy these individually. I'm going to go in with Lunch Money first. Apply that with my finger. I'm going to take what's left on my finger and kind of put it on the center of my chin, on the bridge of my nose, my eyebrows. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the other colors, Stole the Show, and just apply that on top of the Lunch Money, just so I can intensify that highlight. Because like I said, I want this to be like a last summer look. Not that I'm not going to highlight in the fall, because highlight on fleek, but I kind of just wanted to make it pop a little bit more. Last, we're going to go in with a lip color, and I'm going to use the shade Button. It's also from Colourpop. It's a satin finish, but it still has like a glossy shine to it, which I like. It's a nice corally shade. I'll swatch it in the back of my hand first. A corally pink shade. So I'm going to take that without a lip liner and apply it on my lips. And this is totally optional, but I'm going to go in with the Buxom gloss. It's in the shade Amber. It's a pretty peachy color to complement this lip. And I'm just going to put that on top. It's just going to add a nice shimmer. To our summer look that's mostly Colourpop. Okay, so that completes this look. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching.